Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. As the nation faces rising agitations and calls for the end bad governance protests, we have the opportunity tonight to address these concerns directly. The Minister of Interior, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, will provide insight into the Tinubu administration's performance. We're discussing the strides made towards fulfilling the campaign promises made before the election of last year and the government's ability to address the pressing issues that matter most to Nigerians. I'm now being joined by the Minister of Interior, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Sean, for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It does look like there is a rising agitation against the government of the day which you are serving about performance. There are those who think that there is hunger in the land. There is, for the fact remains that the food inflation is on the rise. There's a high cost of living. The standard of living is really deteriorating, and the purchasing power of the average person is really terrible. And it costs for, it poses one big question, that the capacity of this government is questioned. Are you worried about the perception of the government you serve that is not capable of addressing the plight of the people of this country?
Well, Sean, thank you very much. I honestly do not understand what you mean by maybe I'm worried about perception or the capacity or capability of this government. I don't think that is on the table. The government is doing well in terms of when you look at the indices, certain indices. And I tell you this, but when you judge the government based on ability of this particular administration to solve a 100-year-old problem in 1 year, then you might be having your sort of assertion. Let me tell you this. Nigerians, Mr. President, to the best of my knowledge, never campaigned to be a magician. He campaigned as a statesman. He campaigned on the basis of renewed hope. Before a hope can be renewed, it means it had dwindled. And when you want to reboost, when you want to revigorate a hope that has really gone down, when you want to reprocess a system that is down, you need a bit of time. And within this time, are we on the right steps? Yes. And I will tell you this, leadership, it's not about easy decisions. I heard the last guest spoke about fuel subsidy. Let me tell you, tell me a particular candidate, is it of any presidential candidate of any of the top parties that did not promise to remove subsidy. Subsidy was a cancer. Fuel subsidy was a cancer within the system, killing the economy of Nigeria. We were subsidizing the naira. We were subsidizing fuel. At the end of the day, the economy was suffering, no capital investment. The economy was not moving forward. So, but for me, let me tell you this. I'll say this not because I'm Minister of Interior. I'm firstly a Nigerian before being a minister in this cabinet. If there is something I give to this president, it's his boldness. And I tell you, historically, look at all the countries we look at today, that we admire today, countries that we hope that in the future, Nigeria will be like them in terms of economic participation, in terms of improvement, increase in GDP. Are you going to talk to me about Malaysia? Is it Malaysia you want to talk about, or you want to talk about India, Singapore, or China? Look at all these countries. What are key decisions? I will tell you that it took. The key decisions were bold decisions. Decisions at a time that brings a little level of pain, but obviously facing the right direction and creating an economic emancipation for the people.
Let me jump in quickly. You talk about the president's boldness. There are those who will say the audacity of the president is actually on the removal of subsidy is the cause of this problem. That how would you, on the first day, assuming of assumption of office, remove subsidy that goes into the root of the livelihood of the people without proper planning? I'm not sure there are a whole lot of people who will say to remove subsidy is a problem. It's perhaps the fact that there was no plan, no cabinet in place, no discussion, no arrangement for succor, for buffer. The president went ahead unilaterally to remove it.
You can't say unilaterally.
He did that on the first day.
Hold on. Let me tell you.
Were there discussions with stakeholders?
Let me tell you this. Are you aware that as at the time the president came on board, there was no budget for subsidy? You want a president to start his administration on an illegal note? That is question number one. And question number two, How many presidents, how many administrations have been trying to get subsidy off without success? The key issue is for us to come to the table. Sheryl, let me tell you, now we can be talking about causes of problems. For me, in every crisis, there's always an opportunity for greatness. What is the opportunity for greatness that I see here? It's an opportunity for effective nation building. And nation building is not President Bola Tinubu's task alone. Nation building is not my task alone. It's a joint task of all Nigerians. And guess what? A moment like this is a moment that separates statesmen, obviously, from non-statesmen. This is a time when statesmen, we must come together, because you do not develop a country on the premise of anger, on the premise of rage, on the premise of annoyance. I do not know, even in my own private capacity, anybody that has taken a decision in anger or out of rage and has succeeded. What do we need to do? We need to sit down as a people and be able to talk over this issue. And hold on, and let's say this very clearly before I forget, I lose my line of thought. Before you embark on a protest, I'm saying this very clearly. I am a Nigerian. Forget the fact that I'm a minister. I'm a minister today. I might not be a minister tomorrow. And of course, I'm not be a minister forever. I'm a member of the society. I'll go back to the society. So my first responsibility is to Nigeria. Same ditto, Mr. President. Ditto the people that want to protest. Our first responsibility should be to Nigeria. Patriotism must come in play. And when we talk about patriotism, we must be able to engage. Before you go on a protest, the first question, I'll read something today that I was listening to when Professor P.L.O. Lumumba was quoting Martin Luther King. Yes, was quoting Martin Luther King. And he said, mass action, of course, was an instrument used by Martin Luther King, you understand, during the civil rights. But the simple truth is that there are 4 things we must consider. Number 1 thing for me, in my own priority, is to say, okay, can we demonstrate that we have exhausted all methods of engaging government, including negotiations and, of course, petitions? Have we done that? That's number 1. Then number 2, when you engage with government, have you given government time to even respond? Are you looking at the workflow of government? Have you even tried to have an insight into the plans of government, realistic plan? And I tell you, as a member of the cabinet, this particular president is working so hard.
So, Minister, let me jump in now. So, are you aware, Minister, that people are hungry in this country?
That people are hungry? Yes, of course.
And there is a mass poverty in this country.
Mass poverty?
Yes.
Well, poverty is a relative word.
Minister, let me give you the statistics. About 135 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, and poverty in several areas of their life.
What is the
just for a moment, Minister. And it's also given statistics that over 70 million or about 80 million Nigerians cannot even afford to feed themselves with about $1 per day. And these are statistics staring us in the face. There are a lot of people who are unemployed, and the fact that what they end before President Bola Tinubu got into office, that has been messed up 1 year later. And the indices, if you want me to read it out, I'll read it out and we'll put it on the screen. That if you are saying that the president has capacity, how do you convince Nigerians that the president that they voted for, all the indices are in the negative, economically speaking? The price of commodities have gone south. Things have skyrocketed. Inflation rate has moved over 10 digits. Headline inflation moved over 10 digits. Unemployment rate, and you can go on and on. All of the indices are in the negative. How do you convince, sincerely, Honorable Minister, Nigerians who are watching tonight, to tell them that this government really has the capacity to meet their demands and their yearnings?
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm happy you read your statistics, even though you didn't tell me the source of your statistics.
No, it's NDS. No,
hold on, Sheryl. But I want to tell you this. Economy, it's not built overnight. It's easier for things to be destroyed than to be built. The fact remains, what you see today is an accumulated mismanagement over the last 100, 60, 40, 30, 20 years.
But the decline in the last 1 year is escalating badly.
Because there are key fundamental decisions that must be taken. Let me tell you, you can't go through surgery at that point and not expect a level of pain. But what happens after the operation? What happens after the surgery? I tell you this as an individual. I personally believe Nigeria is going through a surgical process. That is the truth. And for a government that is barely a year old, with a cabinet that is 11 months old, and all of a sudden, you're judging 11 months of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet, 12 months or 13 months of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency over a scenario of 60-something years. Let me tell you, if refineries, okay, had been fixed before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will there have been subsidy? Question number one. Number two, if subsidy, when the usage was not, when the utilization of PMS was not up to this level by virtue of our population had been reduced and that removed and that money rechanneled into capital projects, are we going to be talking about subsidy removal today? That is number one. Then number two, if we had had unification of exchange rates before now, where Naira was artificially being priced, let's call it a spade, was spending our foreign reserve to defend the Naira. We're just like living a fake life as a country. If these decisions had been taken, if he had been taken before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are we going to be talking about this? The key issue, let me tell you the truth, is that this is a president that inherited so much to do in just a short while. That is the issue. I'm not the Minister of Information. I am the Minister of Interior. I feel the pain. Are Nigerians going through? Yes, of course. But we have a president that I know is not just bold and audacious. It's not just about that. It's about somebody who has a master plan. And the issue is this. You cannot, I said this with all utter of sincerity, you cannot go through surgery. I always say it. What we had before is like somebody who had cancer or who had a problem, pain, and keeps taking Panadol, paracetamol, Panadol. You will be relieved over the short, at that moment. But the long term is death.
So you are telling Nigerians to be more patient.
We are pleading for time because let me tell you.
How much more time do we need
to
get things done?
Let me tell you.
Nigerians are hungry, Honorable Minister.
Listen,
those of you in the political elite do not understand the pain of the Nigerian people.
You do not say that. I understand the pain more than you do. I'm a politician. I liaise with the people. And I'm telling you, tell me any tough decision, tough economic decision that Mr. President still needs to take. Mr. President, subsidy, he has removed it. There's a unification of the exchange rate. These are basic things holding the development of this country.
So you're saying we're on the right track?
We are on the right track.
And we need more time.
It's just a matter of time.
Can we?
Hold on. Let me put this to you. See, let me tell you. You bury seeds. But the beauty is that seeds germinate. But a seed must decay before it does what? Before it germinates. This is a moment of pain. We have planted the seed. An 11 months period. It's 1 year. It's not a time for, I'll give you another example. Refineries had not worked in this country for how many years? People did not say, oh, let us go and do this. There was fake issue, there was a time in this country it was alleged that Naira was being printed because of the economy. Even waste and means, by CBN, how much did we inherit in terms of waste and means liability as a government? Today, we'll settle that. Even foreign direct investment, people could not come and invest in Nigeria. Emirates, all of them, stopped coming to Nigeria. Why? Because their money gets trapped here. Where there is no FDI, my brother, jobs cannot be created.
Just for a moment, Minister, let's take another breather. But when we come back, in our closing argument with the Honorable Minister, he is asking Nigerians to be patient with President Tinubu. But then, these protests, how can average Nigerian also lodge their complaints and pains to the government of the day? We'll be hearing more about the way forward as we enter into a critical week. Join us again, everyone. On the program, Honorable Olubumitunjojo, the Minister of Interior, has been speaking with us on the expectations from Nigeria, what Nigerians should be expecting from this government. We are in the home stretch now. The question is, those will be asking, You're telling us to be patient, to wait for more. How much you will wait? And you're telling Nigerians to tighten their belt. Yet you see big cars being used by government officials. You see retinue of cars. You see government living large, government officials living large.
Time.
How is it sincere and morally right to ask Nigerians to tighten their belt when government officials are not?
Hold on, let me say this to you. Before I go to that, because that's like the last statement, I know we don't really have too much time. But I want to say this, and I want to plead with Nigerians. Judge Mr. President by a few things. His boldness and audacity to take certain key decisions. We structure the foundational problems of Nigeria. For instance, the issue of the local government autonomy. No president has had that gut to do it. He did that, knowing fully well that development is always a bottom-top approach. Local governments must play their roles. State government must play their role. The presidency will play. Now, today, there is autonomy, giving resources directly. That is the closest to the people. The president did that. Please give him some credit. That's a lot of guts. Two, the issue of unification of the exchange rate.
It has not yielded results. We can't see.
Hold on. The issue of the
1,600, 1,500. That's what.
See, the issue of the unification of the exchange rate has increased our foreign reserve. And the unification of the exchange rate is a key decision that was needed for foreign direct investment. And when you say you have not seen it, I will tell you. Let me just give you one small statistics. Let me give you one small statistics. When the Prime Minister of India came, P.V. Narasimha Rao, when he came, foreign direct investment was $132 million. $132 million in a year in 1991. It was a tough time, a tough decision moment. He took bold decisions. And by 1996, when he was leaving, the foreign direct investment increased to $5.3 billion US. Today, they call him the father of modern Indian economy. Why? He took tough decisions. The Lee Kuan Yews of this world, all the people that were shouting, did they perform magic in 1 year? The answer is no. Lee Kuan Yew, even that's known today as the father of Singapore, modern father of Singapore, became prime minister in 1959, left in 1990. He was even said, I will quote this was quoted during when I was reading, said, Lee Kuan Yew eschewed populist policies in favor of long-term social and economic development. That was his
Is that what Tinubu is doing?
Exactly.
Tinubu wants to be a Lee Kuan Yew of Nigeria.
I tell you what I see in him with the decisions he has taken in terms of the things holding, stifling the growth of the Nigerian economy. Taking them out, are you not even worried that the Nigerian economy has refused to grow for how many years? Countries have come in Asia and across, they've left us behind because we keep feeding few people by virtue of subsidy of dollar, by virtue of subsidy of crude, by virtue, of petroleum and etc. Tinubu has removed all these things.
But what we so for me,
it is a short time. It is 1 year, my dear. There's always a gestation period. Even when a woman is pregnant, you don't get pregnant in a day and give birth the same day. There is always that gestation period. Please, we are pleading. Do Nigerians have a right to? Yes, we understand. But what we are saying is that please just hold on. Mr. President is putting something on the table. It has happened in all economies. There is no way. Let me tell you, there is no easy way out of issues. You must take bold decisions. You must be sacrificial. You must be able to go through that level of perseverance. And we are pleading as a government that, look, Mr. President, judge us by the decisions you have taken, the indices, and look at it in terms of long term. I just quoted Lee Kuan Yew economic policy today. And today, as I speak to you, Singapore has a GDP as of 2022 of $466.8 billion US. This is a small country. This was a country that had to move out of Malaysia. But you have to look at, okay, do you want, there are two options in leadership, my brother. It's either you want the short-term gains, long-term failure, or you want long-term success and perseverance for the short term. And the president, and that's the difference between a leader and a statesman. A leader, hold on, before we go, just one statement. A leader will think about his political life. That's the truth. An average Nigerian leader, no Nigerian leader that cares about his political career will remove subsidy. No Nigerian leader that prefers his political career to nation building.
Jonathan wanted to do it. Your friends in the APC were one of those who are in the forefront protesting, and they brought out his government.
You said my friend. That is ambiguous. Who are my friends?
Yeah,
we are talking based on reality.
Your members of the political party led the protest against Jonathan, who wanted to do it at that time.
The simple truth is, you wanted to do it, you have done it. There are two different things. With kudos, respect to President Jonathan. President Tinubu has done it. He has removed subsidy, he has unified exchange rate, he has removed, he has given autonomy to local government, and Mr. President has done all these things. And I say this to the young ones, I plead with them. Look at President Tinubu's cabinet, and I say this. It's not just about giving the young people seats at the table, it's about giving young ones pivotal seats. The Minister of Communication Technology and Digital Economy is massive. It's a young person. The Minister of Interior, the Minister of State for Police, the Minister of a lot of key ministries. And look at agencies. So for us, we as young ones, we have to go back, talk to our people in our own language, get opinion, and open our doors for engagement. What I plead with Nigerians to do is, please, this is a moment of engagement. This is a period for us to tighten our belt and not justify others not taking critical decisions that is needed for the progress and success of this country.
Minister, we are totally out of time. Honorable Minister for Interior, Olubunmi Tunyojo, thank you so much indeed for your time today.
Thank you.
We hope that Nigerians, wherever you may be, the arguments about the state of our nation, this country belongs to all of us. We have a voice, you have a voice, we all need to use it. If the government is on the right track, we need to support it. But if it's not, we need to get it back on the track. As far as this country will succeed. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimade. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. God bless Nigeria.